Hey guys, it's Natasha. I've been waiting for this moment for so long. I can wait no longer. It's time to watch episode 25, the final episode of season 1 of Attack on Titan. I've been to do this for so long. I'm finally done writing my law school admissions test, so I can relax and finally watch this episode. So as usual, this will be a reaction review, so if you have not watched episode 25 of Attack on Titan yet, I highly recommend that you go watch that before you watch this. So I guess I'll see you guys after the episode, and yeah, bye. I'm really curious to see just how much they're gonna wrap up of this episode. So we found out that the walls, they're either dedicated to gods or they treat them like gods. Can you imagine just being a person chilling? Oh dear God. I wouldn't even know what to do if I saw two titans chasing after one another. I'm curious to know just how much control Eren has over his titan right now. Because if history repeats itself, it doesn't look too good. Showdown time! Tearing down buildings like it's nothing. Poor squished people. I feel like this all has to do with Eren's dad. Ooh. Oh my. Talk about leveling up. Why is he on fire? Oh! Yes, Mikasa! Finally, she has her moment. Limbs flying everywhere. Oh dear God. What is happening? Why? Oh, I wish we knew why. Oh, good thing I didn't stop it. That scared the crap out of me. Okay, so clearly it's been quite a while since I watched the episode, but I want to take a few days to kind of let it all sink in, because I do have quite a few thoughts about the episode. Obviously, it's not the most satisfying conclusion, but I think that they did the best that they could to tie up a few ends, but keep a few open at the same time. I wasn't expecting to have everything conclude in this episode. It wouldn't have done the series justice if they rushed everything. Now, I realize that they don't have the green light yet for season 2, but I'm kind of interpreting this episode under the impression that they were going to continue on after they left off. As I said, I am still really impressed by this series. The action in this episode was really great and fluid, and we are brought back once again into the city where the consequences of the military's decisions are brought into fruition. They don't waste time with this and they get right into the nitty-gritty. The face-off between Annie and Eren starts right away. We get an extremely gruesome peek from the civilian viewpoint. While people are praying in a church, discussing the sacred nature of the walls and how they're left undefiled, or they should be left undefiled, Annie stumbles into the building and the damage kills several of them. It's interesting to see how the walls are revered like gods and how people within the walls are still oblivious, completely oblivious to the horrid nature of these titans. It's something that I feel like we've almost forgotten about. Annie and Eren parade through the city in a really violent frenzy, causing a lot of damage and tons of citizen casualties. It's at this point where I got a bit confused. There's obviously an overwhelming sense of despair and angst, and sometimes it's a bit of overkill. I mean, citizens are getting crushed left and right. That image of that crying child that I'm sure all of you remember. It was a bit difficult to tell whether this was a proper way to get empathy out of the viewers or, like I said, simply overkill. At times, this felt just kind of a little too sadist for me. It was just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that in particular. But while this is happening, Niall is still holding up Erwin, and it becomes obvious to him that Erwin is willing to do whatever it takes in order to take down and capture the female Titan, no matter what the consequences are. With no other choice, he goes on to send his troops to help civilians and aid in the overall mission while he arrests Erwin. I am really fishy about Erwin. It's not even funny, but that's for another time for me to explain. Meanwhile, the tides of battle between Annie and Eren are constantly shifting. At one point, Eren gets pinned to the ground. So after a bit of reflection, it's at this point where I got even more confused. Obviously, I feel like I should be Team Humanity, but this apparent climax in the season has left me confused regarding who is the stronger character, Annie or Eren. After this episode, my love for Annie as a character has only grown, not because of her physical strength, but because of her conviction in doing what she feels like she has to do. The most powerful part of this episode, in my opinion, were her flashbacks to her father. I'm so curious as to what caused her to turn her back on humanity. Where does she have to go back? Why was she chosen by her father to carry out this mission? I feel like at this point, her overall will is much stronger than Eren's. It's perhaps why she's been able to defeat him time and time again, aside from her obvious physical strength and skill. Eren is impulsive and vindictive. All his victories and decisions are made when he absolutely has to make them. Whereas Annie is more consistently driven. As Armin said, she's driven and more easily able to do what she needs to do to fulfill her goal, including turning her back on humanity. This is obviously overwhelmingly sad. I mean, all the characters have different drives, but particularly this is the case for Eren and Annie. I feel like they are doomed to do something in their own right. They all have really rigid paths that they themselves feel like they can not stray from, even though maybe they can. They feel trapped, and their paths are kind of like a prison to them. This is not escapable. At this point in the episode, she beats the crap out of Eren. I feel like her desire to accomplish her goal, combined with the tragedy that she may feel in knowing that her path is inescapable, is what I believe prompted this sudden burst in power from her. Eren is so exhausted that he can't get up, that he's really tired of having to constantly regenerate. Now, at this point, I need to make an aside. The voice acting for this whole show has been phenomenal, but the way that Eren's voice actor is able to switch from his normal voice to super low registers of anger and intent, I mean, it's just really great. That aside, Eren's own conviction to destroy all the Titans allowed him to muster up enough strength to give a blow to Annie that was enough to scare her and drive her to try to climb the wall in order to escape from the battle. This, to me, although heroic, was all the more tragic. Although it's obviously awesome to see our hero get back up and conquer, his will and strength is much more erratic and unstable than Annie's. He's a really reactive character, and this, to me, makes Eren really dangerous. I mean, I really hope that they're gonna play this up in following episodes rather than kind of brush this off as some unimportant character flaw or just a regular part of his behavior that comes naturally with this character, because in my opinion, on the path that he is headed, he's beginning to look a little borderline psychotic. Eren is able to switch from this hometown go-getter demeanor instantaneously to what Levi would consider a monster. I don't know if this makes him more likable, but it definitely brings a really interesting element to a hero main character. If they don't play this up, however, I'm going to be really disappointed and see this character flaw more so as something detrimental to the show rather than something that really amps it up. And as happy as I was to see Mikasa intervene in all of this and cut down Annie right before she could climb up with the infamous Fall Annie line, I kind of wish that there was a bit more build up to this moment. Annie has clearly overpowered her countless times. I mean, just last episode she knocked her to the ground like she was nothing. I'm assuming that this was possible because Annie is exhausted from her fight with Eren. I can, however, concede with the fact that this is very much sweet revenge for the ongoing tension between Mikasa and Annie. For all this time that Annie has defeated Mikasa, this is the time where it really counted, and she lost, so I guess that's all that mattered. As Annie falls, Eren takes his opportunity to strike. He almost has her, he rips her open, and is ready to make his move, but however, in a moment of hesitation, as he reveals later in the episode, he sees Annie cry, and he cannot win. Her will ultimately wins out over his will, and she's encased in crystal, protecting both her body and her secret. In a sense, this still proves that Annie is in fact stronger than Eren. We then get some falling action, namely Erwin getting interviewed by the military police about his decision to allow both Titans to break, not really to break through, but I guess to enter the city. The question arose, was this worth it? I mean, they couldn't even get any information out of Annie, but at least they have her contained and not, doing any crazy female Titan things. It's just kind of sad because it kind of totally brings the question to head, was this entire season, was everything that they were doing this entire season up to this point worth it? And I feel like this kind of gave me a feeling of dissatisfaction, but at the same time, I thought it was really smart. That is also why I'm kind of confused. In conclusion, I'm kind of frustrated about how close we are to the answer, and I am kind of hoping that future episodes will work on pacing. I feel, even though obviously they couldn't answer all the questions in one episode, as I said, because I feel like that would have been too rushed and not have done the series justice, I just feel like there's just too much unanswered because of the whole female Titan arc. Although the interruption was really great and obviously added a lot to the story, and I liked it, I feel like things need to be stretched out a bit better. I mean, the whole first 2/3 of the show were dedicated to trying to figure out what was going on in general with the Titans. Then it got very specific with this arc, and I feel like the things that they were set out to do were kind of left unfinished. Things about Eren's power, the Titans that weren't being controlled by humans, and, whatever is up with the king, and whatever is in Eren's basement. All of these questions were left unanswered. I feel like a lot of hints were left as to what the rest of that would be about. So I'm kind of hoping that they're going to pick off and answer all those questions, maybe time things a bit better. But honestly, like I said, the series is great. It may not be perfect, but it is pretty damn good. I'm really sad that it's over now. The premise of this whole show has captivated me and kept me on my toes all summer. The end of season 1 has really marked the end of the summer for me. I know it's mid-October, but I mean, this was like my summer thing. I can't wait till the rest of everything else unfolds, and hopefully we'll get a few more answers. I honestly don't know if I can wait a year or however long it'll take for them to finish or to even give the green light to continuing the series in an anime, so I might start reading the manga. I'm not entirely sure yet, but yeah, I hope you liked the video. Now that I've watched the whole series, I think I'm going to do a series review very soon, kind of considering the whole series as a whole. And yeah, I hope to see you guys soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.